Hello again, everyone. It's Matt here. Today I want to talk about COPPA, which I know is a subject that's really been doing the rounds in the last several weeks, particularly as it relates to YouTube. And there's a whole back history, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with by now. But just briefly, so COPPA is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and it actually dates back decades now to the 90s. But the sort of crux of the matter is that YouTube had to pay out a massive fine. Well, not massive by their standards, but massive by most people's standards. Of it was like $150 million, give or take. There was some component of it that went to the federal government, another component that went to, I believe, the state of New York. Anyway, part of the settlement that they reached with the government was that content creators on YouTube would have to flag whether their videos were intended for children or not. And this really has been just a shit show, to be frank, by YouTube. Because, and believe me, I blame this almost entirely on YouTube. It's nothing to do with COPPA specifically. COPPA has good intentions, and the problem is the way that YouTube are trying to implement it. So, and again, I'm sure many of you know, content creators have to indicate whether their videos are intended for children or not. The problem is the gray area, okay? And what constitutes videos that are classified as intended for children? Because using certain language, if you show items in your videos that could in any way be construed as being for children, toys, even things like comic books, video games is going to be a big problem, things like that, then not only can YouTube come down on you, but in theory the FTC can as well if you've classified your video incorrectly. So if you've said that it's intended for children and it's not, or vice versa. So this COPPA itself actually does allow for some middle ground. They have a classification which is mixed content, basically, like a general audience, which may be something that would be not really intended for children, but it's also not something that would be in any way kind of offensive to children, or there's no sort of there's nothing kind of explicit or bad language or anything adult really about the video. It's just wasn't really, children were not the target audience. The problem we're going to have, and I'm going to relate this in particular to the vinyl community, is that most people's videos fall in this gray area in the middle, okay? And you might say, fine, it's not a problem, fine. No big deal, because COPPA has a classification for general audience if you've got mixed content in your videos like that. Yeah, the problem is YouTube aren't letting creators have that option. It's either a video was intended for children or it was not intended for children. There's nothing in between. So that means that the videos that, like ours in the vinyl community, really fall into that middle ground. Most people's videos, and I think mine included, because the videos are not aimed at children, sure, but kids like music, kids listen to music. Who's to say that the FTC or YouTube wouldn't say, well, okay, but come on, your video kind of is for kids, right? A lot of people show records that Disney records that may fall into sort of that kind of gray area as well. And I've seen people in the VC show comics as well. People who have cartoon-like graphics, maybe as part of the intro or just as part of a thumbnail, could get caught out with this. So it's not necessarily enough just to say, well, all my videos aren't intended for children. Okay. So we've got the problem is twofold here. One is that YouTube has some algorithm that will be combing the videos, checking to see if any have been mislabeled, those who that should be labeled as intended for children, and the algorithm says are not, and the other way around. And there's, as far as I know from the reading that I've done, there is no right of appeal. If they say that you've classified your video incorrectly, it can just be pulled down, and that's it. That's it. You can't appeal it. Nothing you can do. They can even go so far as to have your channel deleted. That I haven't looked as much into, to be honest. I imagine that would be kind of a 3 strikes and out scenario, kind of like copyright strikes, but I'm not too sure about that. But either way, there's the prospect of channels being deleted. Now, the other side of the coin is the FTC, who say that they will issue a fine of $42,000 and some change for every video that's in violation. Well, you know, if you got 10 videos in violation, that's $420,000 plus dollars. You know, you guys got that lying around, because I don't. Now, the big problem, is the ambiguity and the way that YouTube have gone about trying to give this information to content creators. They've essentially washed their hands of it and said, get a lawyer. If you're not sure whether your videos are truly intended for children or not, get a lawyer. No, screw you. I'm not hiring an attorney. For real, I like making videos, but I don't make any money off of it. My videos are not monetized, which is a whole other thing. If your videos are monetized, you're screwed. Basically, if you rely on that income, you're up the creek without a paddle. Particularly if it's kids videos, because kids videos, you lose a lot. Videos that you mark as intended for children, you lose comments, you lose playlist, the ability to add the video to playlists, the ability to link out other videos, and the monetization is dramatically affected. So, you know, that from that standpoint, it doesn't affect me, but I know that I've had the odd video where maybe I've shown records that could be considered intended for kids. Maybe I've used language that could be intended for children, and it's not worth the risk. And that's down to YouTube. That's not really down to the FTC. That's down to YouTube not giving content creators the option to mark their videos as being for a general audience, which would then solve the problem for the vast majority of people. So you're kind of left in the situation where YouTube have said, well, you guys just figure it out. And that's the problem, because again, the ambiguity, nobody knows what's going to happen. The YouTube COPPA agreement comes into effect on January 1st, 2020, and nobody knows if, you know, within days people are going to suddenly be sued for or have their videos deleted, or even have their channels deleted because of what could be the slightest infraction. And, you know, my original position on this was, you know what, screw them, I'm going to keep the videos up, because I think it would not be difficult to prove, you know, in a court of law, if you were sued by the government or whatever, that my videos are obviously not aimed at children. But do I want that headache? No, I don't. Nobody wants that stress and the hassle, and if you have to hire an attorney, court costs, and you might get those back if you win, but still, who needs it over freaking YouTube videos? I don't need that. You know, I got other stuff. I got kids. I got a mortgage. You know, I got other stuff going on. So I'm at the end of the year, I'm going to mark all of my videos as being private. Now that will mean that should steer me clear of any COPPA issues, because the videos are not publicly accessible. And I'm just going to wait it out and see what happens. If YouTube come out and they offer some better guidance and clarification, then, or if they start giving content creators the option to mark their videos as being general audience, then okay, then maybe I'll start making them public again. But it's not worth the risk, and that's the problem. It might be that nothing happens, nothing major. It may be that if the FTC do go after anyone, it's going to be the very big content creators, you know, the people who they know can afford to fork out tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines, you know, because they want to make an example of them. But it may be that nothing happens at all, and that this is really all overblown. And even though the FTC could go after people, are they really going to do it? Because it could end up being a lot of videos, a lot of people. And that's the problem. Nobody knows. Nobody knows for sure. And I've seen videos even by like social media lawyers who freely admit they don't know. They don't know. It's too up in the air. YouTube has made it too ambiguous as to what is going to happen and what the consequences might be. So yeah, so that those are going to be my plans. I'll be marking all the videos private, which is a little sad. People won't be able to see them, but it's not the be all end all. I like making the YouTube videos, but it's not my life by any means. So until kind of the storm passes a little, things settle down, then maybe, like I said, I'll start making them public again. But yeah. So what I do intend to do by the end of the month is I have dozens of videos, or dozens of records, excuse me, that I haven't shown, dating back to early this year, some of them. And so I'll be doing a big video. Honestly, it's probably gonna be like 45 minutes long, but we'll see. Where I just show all of those records that I'd intended to gradually show in videos. We'll just do one big video. It won't be a goodbye. It'll be kind of a farewell for now, and maybe I'll be back later next year. So I'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks. So watch out for that. But yeah, I would be interested to know, because I know that quite a lot of you who watch my videos, you make your own vinyl community videos. So I would be interested to know what other people are going to do. And I've seen both ends of the spectrum where people, I know some people who are just like, whatever, I'm keeping the videos up, don't care type of thing. And I know other people in the vinyl community who've been freaking out about it, basically, for, without meaning to sound rude, but they kind of have. And I like I said, I'm sort of in the middle. I'm going to keep the videos on YouTube. They'll just be private until such time as the storm breaks a little bit. So thank you guys as always for watching. Sorry that I didn't show anything in this video. I just wanted to talk about COPPA and the implications for my channel. And again, it's just my opinion. If social media attorneys can't figure this thing out, I know that I can't. And that's the problem, because it's so up in the air. You kind of, I've got to lean on the side of caution and just, do what I said I was just going to do with the private videos and everything. So thank you guys as always for watching. Always appreciate your comments. And until next time, later this month, bye-bye.